So I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge this incredible sunset before I commemorate. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we can focus on it. Look at that. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Amazing. Before we commemorate the breakthrough that is the iDive housings are up and running. But I just want to briefly go through the story with you guys about how this went down. So we discovered a while ago that there is a Thai version of America's Amazon.com called Lazada, and you can get lots of stuff on there. Unfortunately for us, CO2 cartridges have been sold out the whole time we've been here. But then I emailed actually the only retailer that had the size we needed. Directly, actually Facebook contacted this person. They were super helpful and they let me know they actually got an order in. So we've got a lot of CO2 cartridges. We are all set for CO2, so you can check that box. The second issue was that we didn't have our second iDive housing. It was coming from Hong Kong. That actually did arrive, which is super exciting. Here it is. It's a snazzier, newer version of the old one, which is actually not supposed to be the case. We were supposed to get the old one. This is the old one. I like the old one too. I think it's a beauty. But the problem is the new one, as snazzy as it appears and is, it's actually built for a slightly more narrow iPad. When our iPads are the old school iPad Air, so they're thicker. And so we had an issue where the screen of this guy was touching the iPad buttons. And you can see in the other video, we have a customized button interface we use with this app called Timestamped Field Data. And we were having the screen was coming into contact with the buttons because the iPad was just too thick, and that was causing the buttons to get engaged, which is a big problem when you're collecting data, so you can't have that. So we had this issue. It's like, this iPad's too thick for this iDive housing. But I got in touch with the creators, who were super helpful, and they said, why don't you fiddle with the little bumpers in the corners that hold it in place? So we did a lot of fiddling with those bumpers. We actually shaved them down a lot, and thought that might fix it. Didn't fix it. So we thought about it and thought about how could we get this thing to work. Again, the screen was touching the iPad screen, which is engaging the screen. You can't have that happen. So we came up with something which was a brilliant fix, and is kind of really Heather and I putting our heads together. But we got chopsticks from our lunch takeout, little wooden chopsticks. We duct taped them to the edges of the iPad, and that, when it sits in this housing, is just enough to lift the rubber off of the screen. And that keeps the whole thing off of the iPad screen, which actually means that we can use this now without any CO2 at all, because the CO2 is what creates the air pressure that keeps the rubber off the iPad screen, which again allows you to engage the screen without the water engaging the screen. But now we've outfitted this thing so that it can be fully usable without any CO2. So it's a little bit ironic, because we went full circle from thinking, oh my God, we need CO2 so badly, to we don't actually even need it anymore for the new housing. We're still using it for the old housing. So anyway, this is just to show you the ups and downs, the roller coaster that is field research. You never know what's going to happen, and you have to be willing and ready to be crafty when unexpected stuff happens. And I think we were able to pull that off. So one last quick look at the sunset, and we'll let you know what happens next.